Hello and welcome to Ignite 2020 and this session on Dynamics 365 Customer Voice. My name is Ray Smith. I'm the General Manager for Dynamics 365 for Sales and Customer Voice, and we'll be joined shortly by Alana Robinson, the Head of Design for Customer Voice. So today's session is all around developing better experiences, deeper insights, and stronger relationships with your customers. We've got 20 minutes that's absolutely jam-packed and filled with product demos, product roadmaps, case studies. So before we jump in, maybe it's first worth touching on why do we need customer feedback management and how does it solve a problem in relation to developing customer experiences solutions? First and foremost, it's probably worth touching on. In the modern world, we differentiate today based on the relationships and the experiences we have with our customers. In days gone past, it may have been we differentiated on price, on features, on service. But today, it really is that experience that our customers have that differentiates and turns them into customers for life. When you look at some of the statistics, it's no surprise. So the feedback from customers that were surveyed is that 79% of brands do not identify with them on a personal level. So that's the complete opposite to people feeling like they're getting a tailored, personalized experience. The second statistic is interesting, which is really showcasing that a lot of our data is sitting in silos. If 46% of marketeers feel like they don't have access to the full profile or don't have the data about their customers, that shows a real problem. And lastly, it's really around when people are capturing this data, it's largely sitting in silos and is not actionable, or we can't derive greater insights. So it's a real problem to be able to deliver a tailored, personalized, and real-time experience. And that's really where customer voice comes in. So it's really a simple yet powerful feedback management solution. And the last thing anybody needs right now is data sitting in silos. So it really helps unlock all this data sitting across your organization, irrespective of your enterprise setup, and makes it really easy with out-of-the-box templates so that people can get a customer experience or feedback management solution up and running in a matter of minutes. The reason why this is such an easy solution is because Microsoft has a unique advantage in this space. It has some of the greatest assets in the business applications space with Dynamics 365 and the Power Platform, and it's able to pull these components together to create simple templates. So that makes everyone an easy author or maker of surveys, but making sure that that data is being plumbed back into the systems of engagement and that action is being taken in real time. So let's maybe drill in a bit deeper. So how do we deliver these better experiences? It's really around, with this configurability, extensibility, we have to try and hide some of that complexity and making sure it's simple. So delivering best in class, ready to use templates out of the box. And on top of that, there's no point in saying one size fits all. So you need to be able to give the makers of these surveys and experiences to be able to put the tools at their fingertips to make them super customized and personalized and feeding in data from across the systems. This is really how you tailor this feedback to the customer so that they feel like they're at the center of the world. And then on top of that, when there's different feedback management solutions around products or service in certain markets, it has to be easy to manage. So how do you group and manage these listening devices? So next, it's around, with all this data that's coming in and being centrally stored in the common data service, how do we tap into all that information to really, unlock the data around the customer journey, derive insights, to deliver this full 360-degree view, and then making sure that through the Power Platform, it's fully extensible and allows our partners to extend and create templates on top of it. So this is really where we say is the unique advantage of customer voice. It allows all this data to be centrally stored, for AI to be poured over all this data to derive deeper insights and turn that into action with triggers and plugging that into your systems of record. Next, it's with all this data, all this insights, we now want to build that stronger relationship. So if I'm a customer and I give a one-star feedback, I want to know that feedback has been listened to, that they analyze that relative to my lifetime value as a customer, and that they engage and take action on that in a meaningful way. We need to turn that directly into alerts and actions and AI, where it's combining these data sources so that the customer truly does feel that if they spend a lot of money with this customer, that customer values that business. And when you have a poor experience, they respond and act accordingly. And that's the key to customer feedback management solution. It's not survey data sitting in a silo, but instead it's bringing data across a myriad of sources, deriving insights from that data, and then making sure that is actionable in real time. That's the key difference. Without further ado, I'm going to hand over to Alana Robinson, who's going to take you through a quick demo to showcase some of its capabilities. And then we'll come back and we'll talk through a few case studies.
I'm going to walk us through a scenario about Emily, a global sales operation manager at Contoso. She'd like to gather feedback from her B2C customers after their order has arrived. She gets started to create her survey with customer voice. She sees a list of pre-created project templates that she can use and notices that one of them, periodic customer feedback, is actually based on Forrester's best practice research. She notices the order delivery project template and chooses that as it meets her needs. Since Emily is using Dynamics 365, customer voice automatically connects her to the Dynamics system. She can confirm the selection or pick another Dynamics instance in order to set up the project. The project has an out-of-the-box survey questions that are specifically tailored for the scenario that she chose. She can see here on the left, these are the projects that includes the surveys and the reports, and she can customize her survey with adding new questions or branding it to meet her needs. Noticing the satisfaction metrics, Emily wants to make sure that she knows how her customers are feeling about their experience. She opens up the metrics to make any adjustments around sentiment or CSAT. She can see here that CSAT is actually mapped to the first question in her survey. How would you like to rate the overall quality of the product? Emily is able to see that there are pre-created satisfaction metrics at the project level, which already come built into the template, creating an easy-to-read report. Now that the survey is created, she's ready to send it to her customers. In the Send tab, there's also an option to automate the sending her survey. This template includes a Power Automate workflow to send the survey when the delivery completes. For now, she's going to go in and send the survey through an email. Since she's connected to Dynamics and the Common Data Service, she's able to send to specific entity views, such as high-value customers. She's able to pull in contacts from Dynamics and CDS and send it directly to them. Here in Dynamics, this is the list of the high-value customers she just sent it to. There's the built-in integration with customer voice. For example, if she goes in here and opens up Alan's contact page, she's able to see that the responses actually automatically show up, and she didn't even need to do anything to configure it. This is one of the key differentiators with customer voice, as no other competitor has this type of capability. Back in Dynamics 365 Customer Voice, there's an older project that Emily created a while back that has responses over time. She's able to see a breakdown of who's seen the survey, who's opened it, where people have stopped, or who's completed it. She can see all those details here, such as unread or opened, and where it also hasn't been sent yet. She's also able to dive right into the survey results, and she's able to see how people have responded over time. She can open up the respondents panel and actually see Alan's response. She can directly see his individual response to each of the questions, as well as any verbatim comments that he's written. Looking to better understand how her sentiment and CSAT are tracking, she jumps over to the satisfaction metric so she can monitor the results as they arrive. She's able to see the latest as well as the trends over time. She can also filter by days, as well as if she had multiple surveys, she could choose a specific survey to get the results from. Later, when Emily returns back to Customer Voice, she lands on the homepage and can pick up right where she left off with her recent surveys or reports. Through her use of projects and tracking metrics, Emily can help build the culture of customer obsession at her company. Back to you, Ray.
Thanks, Alana. That was a really great showcase, and I think that the audience will really appreciate how simple and easy and intuitive that experience was. And the flexibility which it has then to get not just a survey or engagement with the customers at the door, but also around turning that data into real-time actionable feedback. So without further ado, I'll kind of jump on to a couple of customer highlights. We've been working with a number of big customers in this space, and one of these examples is actually Toyota. They've been sending to nearly 84,000 employees a survey to make sure engage with them during the COVID or back to work schemes, and to make sure that their employees are healthy, are well, and that they can run a successful business. So they turned to customer voice, and they really wanted to quickly enable a solution to engage their employees, but it had to be very quick, it had to scale super fast, and they had to be able to capture all this data and feedback so that it could be visualized in some of their Power BI and big company dashboards. So they turned to customer voice, and they were set up in a matter of days. And that data was all centrally coming back in on a daily basis so that they could manage and run their business. So a very successful example of leveraging the assets of Power BI and Power Automate as part of the easy and out of the box solution templates to be able to set up this experience, engage their employees, check on their welfare and their well-being, but then also manage and run the business on the back of that data coming back in. So a great customer, a great highlight for the simplicity and how easy it was to get going. Another example we'll touch on is DAI in Nigeria, where they focus on women's health. And they use customer voice to really engage the community in an effortless way. And as part of the community, they want to be able to engage with them on the channels and mediums that they felt most comfortable with. So whether it was SMS, WhatsApp, or text, they created a survey or an outreach or engagement program to check in on the health of of the community, and to be able to capture that feedback, be nimbler in responding to the data, and derive real insights that allows them to engage with a health program that is best fit for their clients, their customers, and really making sure to make a difference in the world. So a really powerful example, and they accelerated the time to engagements and capturing that data that was key for their success. Another example we'll touch on is Apollo, so one of the largest travel companies out of Europe. And they embarked upon a very innovative and exciting program around better understanding their clients. So they've obviously lots of people who holiday and travel with them each and every year. But as we all know, we all have different experiences and needs and desires when we go holidaying and vacationing. So what Apollo did was they wanted to be able to engage their clients, to really better understand them so that they could deliver a more tailored and personalized experience as part of their holiday package. So, Apollo started to look at not just the survey data, but also how they engage over email, the feedback forms in various fashions, where they wanted to amass this profile of their customers, and then to be able to offer them more personalized and tailored experience. And similarly, if there was any negative feedback, to be able to action on that immediately to turn a bad experience into an awesome experience for the next time around. So, really amazing feedback around how the customer journey through the engagement early on, through the vacation experience, through the feedback, was just made as part of this holistic view around the customer profile. So now to touch on the product roadmap. In October 2020, we've got real-time feedback, so alerts and management of the feedback data. And this is really where our customers can set up lots of configuration around what type of data, what alerts, what NSAT or NPS scores they want to kind of trigger an action upon. So highly configurable, highly flexible to each customer's business. But by creating those alerts, it's not just plugging it into the downstream systems, but also allowing a dashboard or a cockpit experience for customer service agents to act upon the data coming back. Also around continuously opening more and more channels across voice, video, text, etc., so that we're feeding more mediums or more data into the collection or the profile around our customers and their sentiment, and making sure that's fed into the transactional data. So on top of that, what's coming in October 2020 is around the reminders for surveys. So the engagement is not just a single pulse, but there's also follow-ups and there's engagement if there's incomplete and partial surveys. Moving on to January 2021, there's really around the product insights. There's also the cause and effect analysis that we're working with some of our partners on, and build in over survey. So this over survey management to make sure that across different departments that there's a certain balance between how the amount of engagement that the customers experience. So this is really where, for an enterprise level solution, you need to have both interaction with the activity to say, well, we're not going to pulse or engage that customer if we've recently reached out from another part of the business. Moving on to April 2021, we've got the customer satisfaction champion leaderboard. And this is really around not just tracking when there's a negative sentiment or a bad alert, but really when there's positive feedback coming in related to a certain part of the business or product or service, and starting to create a leaderboard or a champion for the positive impact and the engagement you have with customers. So this is really where colleagues can give kudos and give credit to one another as part of the real customer experience programs that go on within your business. So on top of that, we're adding in more and more on a regular basis, third-party templates through some of our partners, and we're seeing more and more rich insights being built on top of the platform. So we're extremely excited for the roadmap ahead. A lot of the great customers and the case studies that have gone on are showing the real potential of the platform. So we're truly excited with where it's going. Lastly, I want to touch on some additional resources. We encourage everyone to sign up today for aka.ms/customer voice to experience the trial and get set up. You will see that it is a simple yet powerful feedback management solution. You will get templates out of the box. You'll be able to send your first survey or engagement with your customers in a matter of minutes and access the central data store, whether you're sitting on Dynamics or using other systems of record. But from there, then you can extend it and tailor it and make it even more personalized by bringing in more data about your customers, deriving more insights using the Power Platform, Azure Cognitive Services, and Power BI, and then making sure that you're plumbing that action or those real-time alerts into the existing tools and applications that you use today. So we're really excited to showcase and work with you all. We look forward to the conversation.